This is a call to action video to stand against online homophobia, particularly in football. Hope United are here to give everyone the digital skills they need to call out online homophobia whenever they come across it. We also encourage allyship, no matter what our sexual orientation or background may be, to demonstrate the positive impact anyone can have on calling out online homophobia.
The statistics are staggering. 71% of British people agree that homophobia is a problem in football. 88% of LGBTQ+ respondents feel the same way, and 4 in 5 of us feel uncomfortable hearing homophobic hate. Nearly half of us believe that social media exacerbates the issue, and a quarter of those surveyed have witnessed online homophobic hate firsthand in the past 2 years. Additionally, the wider UK population is less likely to take action than respondents in the LGBTQ+ community if they witnessed hate.
It's time to make a stand.
Take action and call out online homophobia. Together we can make a difference. Don't let homophobia go unchecked.
What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for a predicted lineup video. We got Chelsea at home, 1:30 kickoff on Sunday, and let's get straight into it. Stellini has been talking in his press conference. No added injury news or suspension news, but what is the team news?
So we know Hugo Lloris, Yves Bissouma, Rodrigo Bentancur and Ryan Sessegnon all have long-term injuries. In fact, Rodrigo Bentancur had his surgery on Monday, and the news from the club is that he probably is expected to be out to at least November, which is really bad news, although some reports say he could be back as soon as September, but there's still going to be a long way to go. The only real doubt for this game is Antonio Conte himself, who is still in Italy recovering from his surgery after he kind of relapsed from recovery, but Stellini says he does not expect him to be on the touchline this weekend, although he is very close to returning.
Yeah, and wasn't there word from Conte during the week saying he doesn't expect Bissouma to play for the rest of the season?
Dan KP said Spurs are unsure whether Bissouma will be seen again this season. So we'll have to wait and see about the official line from the club there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the lineup. We're going for a 3-4-3 formation. In goal is going to be Fraser Forster, seeing as Hugo Lloris has a long-term injury. Yeah,
and after his first game, he's been better since then, so be a bit more confidence that he can stand in Lloris's place. It will be interesting to see how busy he is on Sunday, because Chelsea have been really poor going forward, so I'm hoping Spurs can kind of be at their defensive best, but when it comes to set pieces and things like that, I'm confident he can make a difference, but hopefully he isn't exposed.
Yeah, Fraser Forster in goal. Right wing back, we're going to look at Emerson Royal, again the man in form, and we're also desperate for Porro to come in. He can't get a game.
Yeah, and I think we have to go with Emerson again. I think he's playing really well. I think it's important in this game that we're defensively solid and don't give Chelsea any cheap goals, because whatever you want to say about Chelsea, they have been really good defensively, and it's not going to be easy to score against them, so we have to make sure we're not giving away free goals, and I think Emerson right now is our best bet to being defensively solid, and he's in great form, so he has to play, I think.
Yeah, and especially as their danger man does operate in those spaces, João Felix, so it'll be very important for him and the player right centre-back in Christian Romero up and make that side really solid.
Yeah, he's going to be vital in this game, Cuti Romero, so we're going to put him in, and we think he's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, so that's Romero, right centre-back. When we're looking at the central centre-back, we're going to go for Eric Dyer.
Yep. No surprises there. He's been a bit better form recently, although that Leicester game was a big blot on his copybook. In games against Man City and West Ham, he was pretty solid, and he was a big part of keeping Antonio quiet and Haaland quiet as well. So with most likely Havertz starting this game, I think Dyer being really aggressive could really help with making sure that he's nullified.
Yeah, let's just hope he has one of his good games, because when it's not good, it's exceptionally not good. And let's look at the last of the back three, and it's going to be Ben Davies on the left-hand side of the back three.
Yeah, and obviously Ben Davies played at left wing back. He played left wing back against West Ham last week, and a lot of people are saying he should keep his place in that position. I think that we'll go into left wing back in a sec, but we think he's going to go back in centre back for this game. I don't think Longley massively impressed last week, and I think this is Davies' best position.
Yeah, I mean, I am kind of that feeling that maybe Davies should play at left wing back, because his performance was pretty good, probably the best left wing back performance we've seen in the last month or so, seeing as Perisic and Sessegnon really haven't been that good. But I can see the argument to play Perisic, and Perisic we have put in as left wing back for the predicted lineup.
Yeah, I think given that we've got a week break now, I think you got to remember last week when we played Leicester and we played Milan in two quick succession. I think it would be a bit much asking Perisic to play 3 games a week, which is why he was selected for the left wing back spot, Davis. So I think now we've got a week break. I do see Perisic coming back in with a view of Davis now stepping into that as a rotation option potentially midweek. So I think Perisic comes back in.
Let's run through that back line with you guys one more time. So in goal is going to be Fraser Forster, right wing back Emerson Royale, left wing back Ivan Perisic, with a back 3 of Romero, Dyer and Davis. In terms of the midfield, we're expecting an unchanged midfield from the West Ham game, and first up we're going to talk about Ollie Skipp.
And he was brilliant against West Ham in his first Premier League start in a long time. Maybe it was, did he start against Palace maybe? But he's not started many Premier League games this week. But it was his best Premier League start for a long time, that's for sure. And following on from his performance out in Milan, he's coming into this in good form. So hopefully he carries on the way he's going, and then he can get back to the levels he's been showing before his bad injury.
And alongside him, also a man who's come back into form in recent weeks, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah, and he's going to be crucial when it comes to our ability from the centre to dictate things and create chances. He obviously got in a brilliant assist for the goal for Emerson's goal against West Ham, a brilliant pass. So we're going to need more of that if we're going to have any hope of opening up Chelsea, given their defensive record. Yeah,
so that's a middle 2 of Højbjerg and Skippy. In the front line, on the right-hand side, Dejan Kulusevski, who we need to see better performances from on a consistent basis, in my opinion.
We do, but he did have a much better performance in the second half against West Ham, which was definitely encouraging. So hopefully he can take that into this game. He kind of hasn't been himself since returning from an injury, the second time round anyway, because I thought he got injured just before the World Cup, and then he returned and was really good. And then he got another injury. Hasn't quite been the same since then, but hopefully that second half against West Ham is a sign of things to come.
Yeah, it's been frustrating because it's been such a stop-start season for Decky, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And he hasn't been able to get into his stride properly. I mean, we saw in the first half of the season when he was on the pitch, he was brilliant. But I think since the World Cup, I think his performances have flattered to deceive, and hopefully he can get back to those levels he was showing. On the left-hand side, we're going to give a return to Heung-min Son. Richarlison wasn't great. Sonny come on to score, so I think it's the obvious choice, really.
Yeah, and I think what Stellini was saying after the game against West Ham, saying, Son's 100% fit, he plays 100% of the time, and he also said that Son being left out was a conditioning issue. He said this in his pre-match press conference for the Chelsea game, that Son being left out was a conditioning issue, an issue he's had for a while, he said, which is interesting for him to say. So he said it'll just be about what kind of condition he's in. So I'm thinking with it's a week since we've played, so I can't see it being a problem, him coming back in.
It's a weird one that him saying he's had a conditioning issue for a while, so why is it only this one that he's come out of the team for? It doesn't make sense, really.
Great question. It's a great question. He should have come out, or maybe because Richarlison has also had problems, injuries. Dan Juma has only just joined, so maybe those are the reasons. The only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
But we think Son comes back in, although I do see the argument for keeping Richarlison and keeping that same tactic we had last week. And as well, you also get the feeling, given the fact that Richarlison rejected Chelsea in the summer, there's a bit of a spice about that, and maybe it could be the perfect occasion for him to get his first Premier League goal, but we just think it will be Son.
Well, maybe it'll be the flip side. Maybe Richarlison will come on and score in this one.
Yeah, potentially.
Let's hope for goals from both of them, to be fair, but let's talk about the last man in the starting 11, and that will be obviously Harry Kane, up top, leading goal scorer, Tottenham's leading goal scorer, England's leading goal scorer. It's the man, Harry Kane.
Yeah, hasn't scored yet since that goal against Man City, so needs to get back on form, on goal scoring form anyway. He did get an assist last week, but he will have his work cut out with Thiago Silva and Bad Chile in really good form, playing really well. Chelsea are not conceding a lot of goals, and we know how difficult it is to play against someone like Thiago Silva. Although, if I remember rightly, wasn't it last year at the Bridge, Kane completely turned Silva, and he got very lucky that the referee blew up for a foul. It definitely should have been a goal. So
still fuming about that now.
Yeah, so hopefully he can get his bit of his own back for that one. Yeah. So, but obviously he's going to start. It's a massive game. So Kane obviously in the lineup.
All right, so let's run through that lineup with you guys one more time. In goal, Fraser Forster. Right wing back, Emerson Royale. Right centre back, Cuti Romero. In the middle will be Eric Dyer. On the left, Ben Davis, with the left wing back being Ivan Perisic. Moving on to the midfield, we're going to have Ollie Skip alongside Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Right number 10, Kulusevski, left number 10, Heung-min Son, and up front is going to be Harry Kane. If this is the lineup, what is your score prediction?
I'm going for 1-0 Spurs. I think it's going to be a very close game, a very tight game, and not a lot of footballing quality. But I reckon if we can press them in certain situations and force some mistakes, or maybe a goal from a set piece, I think we'll have enough to win. But we've got to make sure that, just like against Man City and West Ham, we don't make any mistakes of our own. Otherwise, we'll be gifting Chelsea a result here. So I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs.
Yeah, I think we've been fairly defensively solid in our last 2 games at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 2 clean sheets against Man City and West Ham. I'm hoping for that to continue against a very blunt Chelsea attack on current form. So I'm also going to go 1-0 to Spurs. And let's just keep this momentum going. And if we do beat Chelsea, I do back us to go on a really good run now. And hopefully the form is starting to turn. And hopefully Heung-min Son can have a really good performance from the off this weekend. Me and Sim will be in the stadium with you, for you guys, getting you all the content for hopefully 3 points at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this weekend. Marlon, Brian, Daigle, and a Chelsea fan, Sammy, will be on the watch along for you on Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. Tune in, get your TVs on mute, and get that We Are Tottenham commentary on. And yeah, it will take you through the game, and we'll see you all very soon. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment, and as always,
come on you Spurs.